Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you. From Yahuwah, He's our Father. And Yahusha, He is the Messiah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, His voice, our High Priest, soon coming King. Hear, O Yeshua, Yahuwah, who is our Mighty One. He is one. There is no other Mighty One in existence than Yahuwah, and Yahusha is His voice. This is Brother Dawood coming to you again to bring you Shamut. You would say Exodus. This is part 3. We're going to the mount. Look to the left, on top. A depiction of the Exodus on the walls in Egypt. Look what's over Masha's head. Leader of Asiatics. What is the definition of Hebrew? A member of the Afro-Asiatic family of languages. This is what the Asiatics look like. They were not white. Then they said his name was Abishah. We just had a lesson. Observe the month of Abib. Go see it so you can be familiar with what I'm going to say next. Abishah. It has an I in it. They always replace the Yah with an I. One letter signifies his name. So if you replace the I and put the true letter back in, the Yah, what would it be? Ab, Yasha, or Abba, Yasha. What does that mean? The Father is salvation. Come down to the next picture. They chronicled this event on stone in the wilderness. They came out of Egypt with much cattle. Do you see the ibex goat, the African goat with the long horns in the picture, in the scene? Camels, flocks, herds. Come down to the last picture. Then they messed up. They created a god, an Aliyakam of their own understanding. Come to the right. Shamut, chapter 3, verse 15. And the Aliyam said moreover unto Masha, Thus shall you say unto the children of Yesharon. What happened before? In verse 14, Masha inquired of the Malak and said, What shall I say unto the people when they ask me, Who sent me? And the Aliyam, the angel, the watcher, the messenger, the Malak, he said, Ahaya. He is Yah. Ahaya. He is Yah. Tell them. He is Yah. One letter signifies his name, and on the pictograph, it's an arm stretched forward. This is why Mr. White takes it out every chance he can get. Let's continue. Yahuwah, the Aliyah, the powerful shepherd of men who stretched forth his arm of your fathers. He stretched forth his arm to Abraham. He stretched forth his arm to Yitzhak. He stretched forth his arm to Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever. What name is that? Yahuwah. And this is my memorial unto all generations. What if someone tells you not to call on his name? Just call Abba. When the Father just told you, memorialize my name with your lips forever. Let's begin. Shamut, chapter 32, 1-3. 1. And when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down from the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aharon, and said unto him, Get up, man, make us gods, Alayakams, which shall go before us. For as for this Moshe, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what happened to him. 2. And Aharon said unto them, Break off the golden earrings. Hold it. Why so quickly? You didn't even defend Moshe. Maybe he thought that something happened to Moshe also. He was gone for a long time. So he told them, Break off your earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them unto me. 3. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aharon. Here's the culprit. Memorialized on the walls in Egypt by the Egyptians. This is the way that they painted Aharon. See him with the ibex goat? 4. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf. He must have been skilled in Egypt. And they said, These be our Alayakam, O Yesharo, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Blasphemy at the highest level, taking the attributes of he who is seated upon the throne and attributing it to another. 5. And when Aharon saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aharon made a proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to Yahuwah. Oh my. He came from the imagination of his mind. He created his own feast to some fictitious god. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Isn't this the same thing that our brothers are doing today? They're creating their own feasts outside of what Yahuwah said. None of the things that they're doing is in the book. They say you have to follow the first new moon after the equinox. They say you have to add months to the calendar, 13th months. They say that you have to use some sundial. None of these things are in the book to find Yahuwah's feast. They are coming from the imagination of their mind. Then when the Father sends you a messenger to put you back on track with him, they, your teachers, put a stumbling block in your way and try to make me seem like I am out of my mind when they are the ones who have come from the imagination of their own mind and created their own feast. We keep doing the same thing. We keep going round and round in circles. 6. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. 7. And when Yahuwah saw this, he said unto Moshe, Go, man, get down. Go down from the mountain for your people. Look, he's not saying my people anymore. He said your people, which you, I didn't bring them out, you brought out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. 8. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. He had given them instructions before. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, just like those who were in March and April, September and October, for their feast, hovering around an equinox. What sacrifice are they giving? Themselves. And said, These be your Alayakam, O Yesharo, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt. If you're in March and April, September and October, those are the feast of Baal. That's where he places his days. You are saying that Baal brought you out of the land of Egypt. Remember, the golden calf is associated with Baal. 9. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Yahuwah Alua community, all of you who have joined yourselves with us, now you can see it for yourself, how stiff-necked and unmovable they are. Amanya, I remember conversing with you, and you said that you were trying to wake up our people. And I told you it's easier to pull teeth from a Tyrannosaurus Rex than to teach our people righteousness. 10. Now therefore, leave me alone. Who's speaking? He who is seated upon the throne, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them with fire. This is going to happen in the wilderness. And I will make of you a great nation, Masha. Brother Xavier, do you see? Brother Xavier is my son. He's also my student. Brother Xavier is concerned with the welfare of our people. He said, if the Father comes now, so many are going to be lost. Look what Yahuwah have said. I don't need millions of people. I can just take the few righteous ones that have returned to me and forsaken the world and make them a great nation. It's not about a whole bunch of numbers. He can do it with just one. 11. And Masha besought Yahuwah, his Alayahu, there's a new one, the powerful shepherd of men, who stretched forth his arm to secure Masha, and said, listen to his speech, Masha is the most humble man on the face of the earth. O great Yahuwah, why is your wrath waxing so hot against your people? Look, he put the people back into his hand. Which you, he said, you did this. You brought them out of the land of Egypt with great power. O Yahuwah, you stretched forth your arm and with a mighty hand. 12. If you do this, the Egyptians may speak and say, you brought them out of the land of Egypt for mischief, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth. Stop. You're coming out of the land of Egypt. This is a parallel of what's going to happen this time. Everyone is going to be gathered. Who are the children of Yeshua? Whether you returned or not, whether you're in the church or not, whether you're Islam, I don't care what you are, you're going to be gathered and brought into the wilderness. And there he's going to slay, consume the wicked ones, the ones who did not return to him, the ones who are keeping the feast of Baal. This is what this is all about. They're serving another mighty one. And they think they're coming from their own mind. They think that they're doing the right thing. And their leaders are the ones who are leading them astray. Who's the leader here? Aharon. He made the golden calf. O great Yahuwah, turn from your fierce wrath. Repent, change your mind of this evil that you're going to do against your people. 13. Remember, Great One, you stretch forth your arm to Abraham. You stretch forth your arm to Yitzhak. You stretch forth your arm to Yesharal. They're your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, by your name, and said unto them, them is a pronoun. It describes person, places, or things. Who are the persons? Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yesharal. I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven. This is a bloodline. He didn't give the promises to any other people. You know, like in the New Testament where they said, if you be in Christ, you too are Abraham's seed. And all this land that I have spoken will I give to your seed. DNA. There's no grafting in. And they shall inherit it. They is a pronoun. Only seed shall inherit it forever. 14. And after Masha reminded Yahuwah of this, Yahuwah changed his mind of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. Thank you, Masha. You are a man above all men. 15. And Masha turned and went down from the mount, and the 2 tables of the testimony were in his hand, and the tables were written on both their sides, and on the one side and on the other side were they written. 16. And the tables were the work of the Aliyam, the angels, the watchers, the messengers, the extension of Yah's arm. And the writing was the writing of the Aliyam graven upon the tablets. Are they saying in this verse that Abaya is the language of the heavens? 17. And when Yahusha heard, Yahusha, this is the one you call Joshua. His name originally was Husha. Masha added 1 letter to his name, an arm stretched forth, and it became Yahusha. It changed the whole meaning of his name. What does it become? Yahuwah is salvation. It is a compound word. H3068, H3467. Yahuwah and Yasha. Who is salvation? Yahuwah. When Yahusha heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Masha, there is noise of war in the camp. No, brother. It wasn't the noise of war. It was the noise of revelry. What was he hearing? Ooh-wah, 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 ooh-wah. 18. And he said, who said? Masha said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome. But it's the noise of them that sing do I hear. What were they singing? It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I want to take my clothes off. 19. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf, and the dancing, and Masha's anger waxed hot. Isn't this the man that just caused he who is seated upon the throne to change his mind from consuming all of the people? Remember, he hadn't seen it as of yet. He just heard it secondhand. But when he saw it, he lost control, and he cast the tables out of his hands and broke them beneath the mount. What was he saying by this action? And this action speaks louder than words. You do not deserve this divine law given from he who is seated upon the throne. You do not deserve this government that he has formulated for one people who would represent him on the earth. Continue to part 4. Shalom.